I never expected to win any family popularity contest. But I didn't think I'd be humiliated in front of the entire extended family either. I'm Ava Collins. I'm 28 years old, and I've always been the quiet one. The one who followed the rules. The one who stayed late to help mom clean the dishes, who looked after dad when his blood pressure got too high, and who never made a scene, even when things were deeply unfair. I guess that's why they thought I'd stay quiet this time, too. The will reading is held in the small conference room of Prescott and Reed, the family's longtime law firm. I remember the way the cherrywood table gleamed beneath the harsh ceiling lights. The air smelled faintly of lemon polish and grief. Everyone was dressed in black. Everyone except Ryan, of course. My brother walked in wearing a charcoal gray suit with a red pocket square and his usual self-satisfied smirk. He looked like a man already rehearsing a victory speech. I sit 2 seats down from him. We haven't spoken much since mom and dad passed. Not even at the funeral. He was too busy shaking hands and making sure his social media followers knew how devastated he was. The lawyer clears his throat. His voice is low, formal, careful. As per the last will and testament of Margaret and Douglas Collins. My heart thuds. All real estate holdings, bank assets, and the family trust are hereby transferred to their son, Ryan Collins. There's a moment of silence, so sharp I swear I can hear my pulse break. And to their daughter, Ava Collins, they leave their love. And a small photo album of family memories. A photo album. Their love. That's it. I feel every pair of eyes in the room flicker toward me. Some in pity, some in amusement, others just curious to see how I'll react. I want to say something, scream something, but my voice is lodged in my chest. Ryan leans back in his chair and smirks at me like he's just won a game I never agreed to play. But it's not even the money that gets me. It's the finality, the message, the complete dismissal. Later, I corner the lawyer outside the office. Is this really what they wanted? I ask, my voice shaking. He hesitates. They were very clear. Your parents felt your brother deserved it. They said, and I quote, Ryan will know what to do with it. Ava will understand. Understand? Understand what? That being the reliable one means being disposable? I drive home in silence. My little apartment feels colder than usual. I sit on the edge of my bed, holding the album they gave me. It's small, worn around the edges. Inside, faded photos from birthdays, camping trips, my high school graduation, and the one time we all went to Maine. Ryan is in almost every photo, front and center. I'm usually off to the side, smiling, watching. I flip to the last page. There's a note tucked in the back. I don't recognize the handwriting. It's not mom's, not dad's. It just says, check the safe deposit box. You'll know which one. My heart stutters. It's vague, mysterious, but not meaningless. I dig through the old files in my closet, mom's scribbled letters, dad's old keys, random safety deposit box numbers I never noticed before. And there it is. A note in my mother's handwriting. A bank and a box number.
I don't sleep much that night.
By morning, I'm standing at First Meadow Bank, holding my ID and the note, my fingers trembling as I hand it to the teller. Minutes later, I'm in a quiet room, holding a small, dusty metal box. My hands shake as I open it. Inside, there's a thick envelope and a flash drive. The envelope reads, to Ava, when they finally show you who they really are. My throat tightens. The flash drive has a label, Ryan, evidence.
I don't know what's on it yet.
But for the first time since the will reading, I feel something that isn't defeat. I feel fire. They thought I would stay quiet. They thought wrong. The envelope feels heavier than it should. It's just paper, ink, and a little time capsule of heartbreak. But my hands tremble as I open it. There's no greeting, no, dear Ava. Just lines, direct and carefully worded, like my mother was too afraid to say these things out loud. If you're reading this, then everything happened just the way I feared it would. We let Ryan become someone we couldn't control. And instead of fixing it, we protected him. Again and again. That's on us. I pause, my heart hammering. You were always the one who saw things clearly. But we never let you speak. We made excuses for him, even when we shouldn't have. You need to know, the will wasn't the full truth. It's not over, Ava. It never was. Use what's on the flash drive. Decide for yourself.
My mouth goes dry.
I look at the flash drive like it's a weapon. I don't plug it in right away. I just sit there for hours, holding it like it might burn me if I'm not careful. The truth terrifies me, but I also know what it feels like to be erased. To be the daughter who never mattered. By midnight, I finally connect it to my laptop. The folder opens with a simple title, Ryan_. Inside are dozens of video files. Some are security footage, others are screen recordings, screenshots, and voice memos. I click the first one. It's a video from a security camera dated 2 years ago. My family's house. I see Ryan in the living room, pacing. He's yelling into his phone. I told you, I'll pay you when it clears. Don't text me again. He throws the phone onto the couch. Then he looks at the camera, walks up to it, and smirks. It jumps to the next clip. My father's voice, off camera, furious. You used my signature? You forged my name on a withdrawal form? Ryan, you said I could use the account. It's for the business. Dad, you spent 15 grand at a strip club, Ryan. Then silence. And suddenly, the sound of Dad sighing.
Fine.
I'll fix it, but this is the last time. Clip after clip, the same cycle repeats. Ryan lying, stealing, manipulating. My parents covering it up. Over and over again. And then I find something even worse. A memo. My mother's voice. If anything happens to me and your father, this needs to be seen. We wrote the will under pressure. Ryan threatened to expose things from Dad's job if we didn't comply. I know what you're thinking, Ava. Why didn't we fight back? Why didn't we trust you with the truth? Maybe we were ashamed. Or maybe we were just cowards. But you're not. You never have been. I close the laptop. Tears are running down my face, but I don't feel fragile. I feel awake. They lied to me. Not just about the will, but about everything. All those years, I spent wondering why they never stood up for me. Why I was always treated like the backup plan. The disappointment. The silent one. It wasn't that they didn't see me. It's that they were too busy hiding behind Ryan. The next day, I call a lawyer. I explain what I found. The recordings. The coercion. The possible forgery of estate documents. The lawyer listens quietly, then says, if what you're saying is true, you may be able to challenge the entire will. My heart skips. You mean legally take it apart?
Yes.
It's not just immoral. If your parents were pressured or coerced, it's illegal. I'm still trying to breathe through that sentence when he adds, but you'll need to be ready. If we pursue this, Ryan won't take it lightly. I laugh. It's short, sharp. I'm not afraid of him anymore. The rest of the week moves like a silent storm. I file paperwork. I submit the flash drive and the letter. My attorney says this could take months, maybe longer. But every day that passes, I feel stronger. Every time I hit send on a document, I feel something being restored. But Ryan? Oh, he finds out fast. He shows up at my apartment 2 days later. No warning. Just pounding on the door like a hurricane. I open it, and there he is. Same cocky stance. Same blazer. Same smug look, only now a little cracked. What the hell do you think you're doing? He hisses. I don't blink. Correcting history. He laughs, but it's nervous. You think some sentimental recordings are gonna undo the will? That thing is sealed, Ava. It's ironclad. I have evidence. And now I have a lawyer. He steps closer, lowering his voice. You don't want to go down this road. You think Mom and Dad will look better when the public knows what they really covered up? You think you'll walk out of this with clean hands? I fold my arms. You really think I care what people say about me anymore? His mouth twitches. He wasn't ready for that. Then he does what bullies always do when they start to lose. He tries to humiliate me. You were always the quiet little helper. You want to play boss now?
Fine.
Let's see how long that confidence lasts when this gets ugly. I look him straight in the eye. Let's. And I close the door. But I don't stop trembling until I lock it twice and sink to the floor. Because here's the truth no one tells you. Standing up for yourself feels powerful. But it also hurts like hell. Especially when the people you loved are the ones you're standing against. The moment I close the door on Ryan, I know it's a point of no return. There's no pretending anymore. No more family peace. No more walking on eggshells for people who cracked them themselves. He showed up not because he was surprised, but because he was scared. And if someone like Ryan is scared, that means the truth is more dangerous than he's willing to admit. Still, that night, I don't sleep. My apartment feels heavier somehow, like the walls are pressing in. I keep thinking about what Ryan said at the door, about how things will get ugly. And not because he was wrong, but because I know he's right. The truth might free me, but it's going to cost something too. In the morning, I meet with my lawyer again, a woman named Kara who seems too calm for the chaos I'm walking into. She reviews the submitted recordings and letters again, nodding slowly. We're going to file a motion to contest the will on the grounds of undue influence and coercion, she says, flipping through the papers. But you need to know, this is war, Ava. Once it starts, there's no graceful exit. Ryan will throw everything he has at you. I smile tightly. He already has. She gives me a long look. Then let's make sure it's the last time. The court process starts with quiet tremors. Paperwork. Hearings. Discovery. But Ryan doesn't wait for it to play out. He starts calling our relatives. Telling them I'm greedy. That I'm attacking our parents' legacy. That I'm trying to rip the family apart. A few cousins unfriend me on social media. One aunt, the same one who once told me I was the heart of the family, sends me a message that simply reads, "Why are you doing this to your brother?" I stare at it for a long time before deleting it. I don't reply. What would I even say? That they never saw the full story? That my parents made me into the quiet one and Ryan into the chosen one? That their golden boy held our family hostage in ways no one wanted to admit? No one would believe it. Not without seeing the evidence. And they won't. But the court will. 3 weeks into the process, we get a call. Ryan has officially retained legal counsel and is countersuing for defamation. I laugh bitterly when Kara tells me. He's trying to flip the script, she says. Make this about your personal vendetta against him. I nod. He's always been good at turning stories inside out. Then she leans forward, eyes serious. But we're better. Because we have the truth. Still, I feel that familiar loneliness creeping back in. Like I'm on a battlefield alone, while the rest of the family watches from their porches, too afraid to pick a side. That night, I visit the cemetery. I haven't been back since the funeral. The grass is freshly trimmed. Their names, Margaret and Douglas Collins, are etched into the granite with grace. The sun is setting behind the trees, casting everything in golden light. I sit on the edge of the bench nearby and talk to them like I used to. I hope you know what this is costing me, I whisper. You left me with silence.
And secrets.
But I'm the one cleaning up the pieces. I don't cry. Not anymore. My tears dried the day I realized love shouldn't feel like erasure. Back home, I get an email notification. Our motion to contest the will has been accepted. There will be a court hearing. A judge will hear everything. The recordings. The forged documents. The pressure they were under. The truth will finally be said out loud. I try to prepare myself for the trial. But I don't expect what comes next. Ryan shows up again. This time with a letter. He doesn't knock. He slides it under my door. Then walks away without a word. It's handwritten. Ava, you've made your point.
You've humiliated me.
And for what? Some moral high ground? Mom and Dad are gone. Nothing you do brings them back. But I'm warning you. If you push this, it's not just me who will suffer. You'll lose your family. The people who still care about you. Don't think the court will protect you from being hated. You were always jealous. You always wanted to be the favorite. You never were. This won't change that. You're still just Ava. Just quiet, forgettable Ava. Ryan. I read it once. Then again. Then I place it beside the others in my case folder. Let him talk. Let him threaten. Let him believe I'll back down. Because this time, I'm not the forgettable one. Courtrooms aren't what you think they are. They're not full of gasps and slamming gavels and righteous speeches like in the movies. They're cold, too quiet, sterile and humming with tension. People sit in silence, with their lives packed into manila folders and USB drives. It doesn't smell like justice. It smells like worn carpet and recycled air. But to me, it still feels like a battlefield. I sit beside Kara, my attorney, trying to look calm. But inside, my heart's pounding so hard I'm sure the clerk can hear it echo off the walls. Across the aisle, Ryan looks polished as ever. Dark tailored suit. Designer watch. Hair perfect. He smiles at me like we're in on a joke together. The same smile he wore when Mom and Dad read aloud my birthday poem when I was 12, the one I wrote with all my heart, only for him to make fun of it in front of the family. He made them laugh. I made them uncomfortable. That was always our pattern. Now, it's about to end. The judge reads through the initial motion to contest the will, citing coercion and undue influence. Kara presents the recordings first. Your Honor, she says, we have over a dozen recordings made by the deceased mother of the petitioner, Margaret Collins, indicating both fear and regret in relation to how the will was written. She clicks to play a snippet. My mother's voice fills the courtroom. If anything happens to me and your father, this needs to be seen. We wrote the will under pressure. Ryan threatened to expose things from Dad's job if we didn't comply. There's a slight murmur across the benches. Someone coughs. Someone else shifts awkwardly. Even Ryan's smirk falters. I can feel his tension from across the room. And that's before Kara opens the next file. An email, dated 6 months before my parents died. My dad to his lawyer. I don't like what Ryan is doing. I feel cornered. Margaret's anxious. We've tried to say no, but he keeps bringing up that mistake from my time at Holson Corporation. If he releases that, we could lose everything. Then Kara slides the final dagger forward, my mother's handwritten note, the one I found behind the photo album. She reads it aloud. The courtroom is silent except for her voice. Ava will understand. Ava will know what to do. I blink rapidly. Not because I'm trying to cry, but because I'm trying not to. The judge doesn't make a ruling that day. Of course not. That's not how these things go. The hearing adjourns with additional investigation pending. The judge thanks both legal teams and instructs us to submit a list of financial evidence and testimony. We all stand to leave. Ryan walks past me slowly. Nice try, he whispers. But it's still mine. I look him dead in the eye. Not for long. That night, I sit in my apartment, small, modest, quiet, flipping through the last few pages of the photo album again. I stare at a picture of me and Ryan from when we were little. He's holding a baseball bat. I'm clapping for him from the background. That's how it always was. Me clapping. Him performing. And I think, why did I ever believe I deserved less than him? The next morning, Kara calls me. We need to talk, she says. Her voice is tight. I feel my stomach clench. I got a message from someone, she continues. A woman named Emily Stokes. Says she dated Ryan a few years ago. Claims he told her some things about your parents' estate, and she's willing to testify. My heart drops into my knees. She said he bragged to her. That he used your dad's past to threaten them. That he even told her the will was a masterpiece of manipulation. Her words, not mine. I sit down. Hard. Do you think she's credible? I do. But that doesn't mean Ryan won't come after her. We'll have to be careful. I hang up and stare out the window. Careful. It's all I've ever been. Careful with my words. Careful not to make noise. Careful not to upset people who hurt me. Not anymore. 2 days later, Emily testifies in a private deposition. She's confident, sharp. She confirms everything. Ryan's manipulation, his bragging, how he referred to the will as his get-rich insurance plan. Kara records everything. When we finish, Kara looks at me with something I haven't seen in her eyes before. A spark. We have enough. The court won't ignore this. It's not just emotional manipulation anymore. It's legal fraud. And yet, that night, I get a call. A number I don't recognize. I pick up, and it's Ryan. "Ava," he says softly, "we need to talk. Just you and me." My fingers curl around the phone. Why? "I think we should settle. No court. No more drama." I almost laugh. He's panicking. "You mean walk away before the truth gets out?" "Ava," he cuts in, "this isn't just about money anymore. You've made this about destroying me." "No," I say. "You did that to yourself." Silence. Then, "You always thought you were better than me." I smile.
No.
I just stopped thinking I was less. Then I hang up. And for the first time in my life, I feel like I finally own something real. My voice. Ryan doesn't call again after that night. Not that I expected him to. When someone's always counted on fear and silence to win, they don't know how to handle someone standing firm. But his silence doesn't mean the war is over. It just means he's regrouping. I learned that the next morning when Kara sends me a message. "Ryan filed a formal complaint against you for harassment and emotional distress." I blink at the screen. Harassment? I call her immediately. "Is he serious?" "Completely," Kara says. "He's saying the recordings, the deposition, your public motion to contest the will, all of it was done maliciously to ruin his reputation." I let out a bitter laugh. He ruined that all by himself. I know. And the court will see that.
But this is his play.
He's hoping you'll back off. Or settle. But I won't. I can't. It's not just about the estate anymore.
It's about what they did to me.
The way they made me small. The way they raised me to believe that Ryan was the sun, and I was just lucky to orbit nearby. This fight isn't revenge. It's release. The court agrees to hear both sides in a final round of arguments. The hearing is scheduled for the following week. Kara and I go over everything again. The recordings. The will dates. The suspicious revision signatures. Emily's testimony. My parents' private bank transfer records, which show a large withdrawal just weeks before they change their will. Likely hush money. Likely Ryan. We lay it all out.
Neat. Clean.
Truthful. Ryan's legal team sends over their rebuttal. Their approach is as expected. Emotion over fact.
She's jealous.
She's bitter. She's dragging her own parents' name through the mud. What they don't include, of course, is any solid evidence. Kara's quiet as she reads through it. This is desperation. His whole case is smoke. But smoke can still blind people, I say. She nods. Then we blow it away. The night before the hearing, I can't sleep. Again. I lie on my couch, staring at the ceiling, the weight of everything pressing down on my chest. The memories of being told to step aside. To be the good daughter. The quiet one. The helper. The overlooked. I think about how, even at the funeral, people comforted Ryan. Asked Ryan how he was holding up. As if I hadn't lost the same people. As if losing their love wasn't worse than losing their lives. I wake up groggy the next morning, but determined. I wear a simple black dress. No jewelry. Hair pulled back tight. I want nothing to distract from what I'm about to say. The courtroom is packed this time. Word got around the family.
Some aunts.
A couple cousins. A neighbor who used to bring us banana bread in the summers. Even my old piano teacher. They all came to see what happens when the quiet girl finally speaks. Ryan's already there. He doesn't look as smug this time. He's pale. There's sweat along his collar.
Good.
The judge begins. Kara stands first. She speaks clearly, calmly. She shows the evidence. She plays the audio again. Mom's voice, shaky but clear. "We didn't want this. Ryan said he'd ruin us." And then Kara looks toward me.
Nods.
My turn. I rise and walk to the stand. My legs feel like stone. My throat dry. But my voice?
My voice is ready.
I'm not contesting this will because I want money, I say. I'm doing it because for years, I've been told that my love, my loyalty, my patience weren't worth anything real. I glance at Ryan. He's fidgeting now.
Good.
My parents gave everything to my brother because they were scared. Because he used pressure and manipulation. And because for their entire lives, they confused loudness with strength. But strength isn't how hard you hit. I pause. Strength is standing up alone when everyone expects you to bow. The room is silent. You could hear a breath drop. I sit back down. Ryan's attorney stands, tries to recover, throws out words like resentment and emotional instability, says I'm disgracing my parents. But even his voice wavers. The judge calls for a recess, says she'll issue a ruling within the week. As people file out, no one speaks to Ryan. But one of my cousins, a girl I haven't seen since high school, pulls me aside. Her eyes are shiny. You were brave, she says. I always thought you were invisible in that family. Not anymore. I nod, throat tight. I walk home that day feeling lighter. Not because I know I'll win, but because I know I showed up. The decision doesn't come with fireworks. There's no dramatic gasp, no gavel slam echoing in slow motion. It comes on a cloudy Tuesday morning, delivered in a plain envelope left in Kara's mailbox. Still, when she calls me with a verdict, my hands tremble so hard I almost drop the phone. Are you sitting down? She says softly. I nod, even though she can't see me. Yeah. You won. I don't speak. My lungs fill, but don't release. I think I forget how to exhale. Kara keeps talking. The judge ruled in your favor. The will has been declared invalid due to coercion. All assets will now be distributed equally according to intestate succession law. You'll receive half of everything. Half. Not out of pity. Not a consolation prize. Because I fought for it. Because I proved the truth. I whisper, thank you. But it doesn't feel like enough. Kara chuckles. You did this, Ava. You. After we hang up, I sit still for a long time. Half the house. Half the land. Half the money. Half the inheritance. But something inside me feels whole for the first time in years. That night, I walked to the neighborhood park. The same park I used to go to with Dad when I was a kid. We'd sit on the swings together, and he'd pretend to push me high even though I was already doing it on my own. It's quiet now. The playground is empty. The wind cools my face, and the city hums in the distance. I don't know if I'm crying because I won or because I never should have had a fight in the first place. But I do cry. Silently, freely. And when I get home, I find an email waiting for me. Subject, you're unbelievable. It's from Ryan. I don't open it. I don't need to. He's already said enough. Instead, I forward it straight to Kara, just in case. I'm not naive enough to believe this is over for him. But for me, a door has closed. Another one is swinging open. 2 weeks later, I meet with the estate executor and start making decisions about the house. The family home. The one I was told I'd never set foot in again. It's old, but beautiful. Oak floors. Big front porch. The swing set Dad built with Ryan one summer still stands, half rusted, in the backyard. The real estate agent asks if I want to sell. I pause. I look at the way the sun filters through the front windows, how the place smells like time and silence. No, I say. I want to fix it up. Planning to rent it? I smile.
No.
I'm moving in. Because this house wasn't just theirs. It was mine too. They just forgot that. I spend the next few months restoring everything. Repainting walls. Replacing old tiles. Hanging up new curtains in the kitchen. I patch the roof. I fix the creaking stairs. And I take down every framed photo where Ryan is front and center, replacing them with ones I dig up from dusty boxes. Photos of me and my mom cooking together, of Dad hugging me tight after my first recital, of me reading under the apple tree in the backyard. I find my space. My face. My story. One morning, as I'm painting the front door, a car pulls into the driveway. Ryan. Of course. He steps out, dressed in all black again, like he's attending the funeral of his former fortune. I just want to talk, he says. I lean against the porch railing, brush still in hand. You've got 5 minutes. He shoves his hands in his pockets. You really went through with it. You took it all. I raise an eyebrow. I took what was mine, what they tried to hide from me. He looks around. You think this makes you better? No, I say quietly, but it makes me free. He stares at me for a long moment, like he's seeing someone he doesn't recognize. Then he shrugs and starts to walk back to his car. But before he opens the door, he turns back. You'll be just like them, he says. You'll end up alone in this house too. I don't respond. I just smile. Because I'm not alone. Not anymore. That night, I host my first dinner at the house. Kara comes. So does Emily, the woman who helped bring Ryan down. A few cousins who'd once been too afraid to speak up now sit around the table laughing like we were never divided. We eat. We toast. We tell stories. We reclaim. And somewhere in the middle of dessert, I realize this fight didn't just get me what I was owed. It gave me what I needed. A voice. A place. A future. The morning after the dinner, I sit by the window in the house I was never supposed to own. Coffee in one hand, an old photo album in the other. Outside, the sun pours through the trees, touching everything with gold. The swing set creaks in the breeze. The wind chimes on the porch dance softly, and for the first time in years, the sound doesn't ache. It doesn't remind me of what was stolen. It reminds me of what I reclaimed. I turn the pages of the album, fingers brushing over memories. There's one of me and Dad, younger, maybe 6 or 7. I'm holding a toy stethoscope around his neck, and he's pretending to faint, dramatically sprawled on the floor. Mom is in the corner, laughing. Back then, love felt simple. Before it turned into conditions. Before the inheritance made me invisible. Before Ryan convinced them that loyalty looked like obedience, and that silence was a form of respect. I closed the album and let out a long, slow breath. I've spent so much of my life trying to be good. The good daughter. The reasonable sibling. The one who lets things go. The one who smiles when overlooked. Nods when disrespected. But being good never protected me. It never shielded me from betrayal. It only taught people how much I'd tolerate. That's what this whole journey taught me. They didn't leave everything to Ryan because he deserved it. They left it to him because they never truly saw me. Or maybe they did, and they didn't think I'd do anything about it. They thought I'd stay quiet, grateful, passive. But that girl is gone. I don't live in silence anymore. I live in this house, in this life, on my own terms. Later that week, I receive a letter in the mail. No return address, but I know the handwriting. It's Ryan. The envelope is thin. Just one piece of paper, folded.
Ava.
I don't know what you want from me anymore. An apology? I'm not giving you that. You got what you wanted. Half the estate. The house. The spotlight. But for what it's worth, you were right. They were afraid of me. Maybe I liked it that way. Enjoy your throne. I hope it's not as lonely as it looks. Ryan. I fold the letter once, then again, and drop it in the shredder without a second thought. Because I didn't do any of this for a throne. I did it for truth. For the girl I used to be. The one who shrank herself to make room for everyone else. The one who kept trying to earn crumbs of love from a table she helped set. No more. I redecorate the house with intention. One wall becomes a gallery of framed quotes, handwritten notes, and photos. Not of my family, but of women I've met through this journey. Emily's statement. Kara's business card. A quote I wrote on a napkin during a coffee-fueled breakdown in week 3. Let the truth be louder than your fear. It's my new mantra. One evening, I sit with Kara and a few other women from our circle. We sip wine, talk about everything and nothing. I tell them I want to start something, maybe a nonprofit or online resource, for people who've been cut out, forgotten, dismissed by their families. Because it happens more than we think. And nobody talks about it. One of them asks, "What would you call it?" I think for a second. Then smile. Deserving. Because that's what it comes down to, doesn't it? They said my brother deserved it all. But what they never realized, what they never gave me the chance to show, was that I did too.
And now?
I don't need their permission. I don't need their validation. I am everything they said I wasn't. Smart enough. Strong enough. Worthy enough. Deserving. The last thing I do is visit their grave.
For closure, not for them. For me.
I bring no flowers. Just myself. I stand in front of the polished stone, hands steady. I forgive you, I say quietly. But I won't forget. And I won't pretend anymore. I kneel down, place a small photo of myself as a child at the base of the grave. Me, age 10, missing teeth, eyes full of wonder. She deserved better, I whisper. Then I stand. And I walk away. Not broken. Not bitter. But free.